Right now, you are not sitting still. The ground beneath you is spinning at over 1,000 miles an hour, and the planet you're standing on is racing around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, faster than any bullet ever fired. You don't feel it. You never will. But you are a passenger on a rock, hurtling through an ocean of darkness so vast that light itself takes hours to cross it. In the next few minutes, we're going to take that journey, outward, past every world in our solar system, one by one, from the burning heart at its center to the frozen edge where the sun is just another star. Some of these worlds could kill you in seconds. One of them is trying to keep you alive. And by the end, I promise, you'll never look up at the night sky the same way again. This is our neighborhood. Every journey through the solar system begins in the same place, the sun. It is not just the brightest thing in our sky, it is essentially everything. The sun makes up 99.8% of all the mass in the solar system. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid, everything else is the rounding error. It's a nuclear furnace 860,000 miles wide, 10,000 degrees on the surface, and 27 million degrees at its core. Every single second, it turns 4 million tons of itself into pure light. And that light on your skin? It's old. It took 8 minutes to cross 93 million miles of empty space to reach you. Which means if the sun simply vanished, you wouldn't know for 8 full minutes. We'd keep orbiting a ghost. And then, darkness, and a cold that never ends. But it hasn't, and it won't for another 5 billion years. So let's use its light to see where we're going. First stop, the closest world to the fire. Meet Mercury, the smallest planet, and the fastest, whipping around the sun in just 88 days. You'd think the closest planet to the sun would be the hottest place out here. It isn't. And that's the first trick this tour will play on you. Mercury has almost no atmosphere to hold heat, so by day, the surface hits 800 degrees, hot enough to melt lead. But at night, with nothing to trap the warmth, it crashes to minus 300 degrees. That's an 1100 degree swing between noon and midnight, the most extreme temperature change of any planet. A little world of iron and rock standing right next to a star, and still freezing in the dark. Strange, but Mercury is nothing compared to the nightmare waiting one step out. This is Venus, and it may be the closest thing to hell that actually exists. From far away, it's beautiful, a smooth, pearl-white world, almost exactly Earth-size. Our twin. Then you look closer. That white isn't cloud and water. It's a suffocating blanket of carbon dioxide, laced with clouds of pure sulfuric acid. The air is so thick it crushes down with 90 times the pressure at Earth's surface, like standing nearly a kilometer underwater. And it traps heat so violently that Venus is the hottest planet in the entire solar system. 900 degrees, day and night, everywhere. Hotter than Mercury, even though it's twice as far from the sun. The spacecraft we've landed there survived minutes. Then they were crushed, melted, and silenced. Venus is a warning, a world that may once have had oceans, and became a furnace. Which makes this one, this is home. After the fire of Mercury and the poison of Venus, Earth almost doesn't make sense. It sits in a razor-thin band around the sun, not too hot, not too cold, where water can stay liquid. We call it the Goldilocks zone. And as far as we have ever looked, in the whole universe, we are alone in it. A single pale blue dot, the only world we know of where a rock learned to look up and wonder where it came from. 70% ocean, a shield of air that burns up 100 tons of space debris every day before it can ever reach you. A magnetic field made by an ocean of molten iron at our core that turns away the sun's deadly radiation. Everything had to be exactly right. And it was. So look at it. Because from here on out, every world we visit is trying to kill us. And Earth is the only one that isn't. The red planet, Mars. Half the size of Earth, and the world we've dreamed about the longest. Its color comes from iron in the soil. The whole planet is, quite literally, rusting. It's a frozen desert now, minus 80 degrees on average, with air so thin you'd suffocate in seconds. But it wasn't always like this. Look at the surface, and you'll see something that stops scientists cold. Dried up riverbeds, ancient lake floors, shorelines. Billions of years ago, Mars had rivers, lakes, maybe even a great ocean across its northern half. Then something went wrong. Mars lost its magnetic field, then its atmosphere, then its water, and became the ghost we see today. And that is the question driving everything. Was anything alive there when the water was? We have robots on the surface right now, still searching. But now we leave the small, rocky worlds behind, because out past Mars, everything gets bigger. Cross the asteroid belt and you arrive at a giant, Jupiter, the king of the planets. It is so massive that every other planet in the solar system could fit inside it. Twice. 1,300 Earths would fit within its clouds. But there's nowhere to stand. Jupiter is a colossal ball of gas, wrapped in storms that have raged for centuries. And the most famous storm, the Great Red Spot, is a hurricane bigger than our entire planet that has been spinning for at least 350 years. Jupiter is so powerful that its gravity acts like a shield for the inner solar system, swallowing comets that might otherwise have hit Earth. Around it orbit at least 95 moons, and one of them, Europa, hides a saltwater ocean beneath a shell of ice that may hold more water than all of Earth's seas combined. If life exists anywhere else in our solar system, it may be waiting there, in the dark, under that ice. But even the king is not the most beautiful world out here. This is Saturn, and there is nothing else like it. Another giant, big enough to swallow 760 Earths, and yet so light, so full of gas, that if you could find an ocean big enough, Saturn would float. But nobody remembers Saturn for its size. They remember the rings. They stretch almost the entire distance from the Earth to the Moon, and yet in places, they're only about 10 meters thick. And they aren't solid. They're billions of pieces of ice and rock, from grains of sand to houses, each one a tiny moon on its own orbit, shining in the sunlight. We think they may be young, the shattered remains of a moon, torn apart by Saturn's gravity. And one day, they'll be gone. Which means we are simply lucky enough to be alive in the brief moment the rings exist. A cosmic coincidence, just for us to see. From here, the sun grows faint, and the last worlds are so far away we didn't even know one of them was there, until recently. Uranus, an ice giant, 4 times wider than Earth, and the strangest mover in the solar system. Because Uranus is tipped completely over, it rolls around the sun on its side, like a ball. Long ago, we think, something enormous struck it and knocked it flat. The result is bizarre. Each pole spends 42 years in constant sunlight, then 42 years in total darkness. It's a pale, featureless blue, the coldest planet in the solar system, falling to minus 224 degrees. And then, the final planet, Neptune, so far from the Sun that a single year there lasts 165 of ours. A deep, electric blue world with the fastest winds found anywhere, over 1,200 miles an hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth. And here's the incredible part. Neptune was found not by looking, but by math. Astronomers saw something tugging on Uranus, predicted a hidden planet, pointed their telescopes, and there it was. Neptune is the edge of the planets, but it is not the edge of the solar system. Keep going, past Neptune, into a vast frozen frontier, the Kuiper Belt. A ring of icy worlds, including Pluto, with mountains of ice and a great heart-shaped plain that we only saw clearly for the very first time in 2015. And still, you are not out. 1,000 times farther than Pluto lies the Oort cloud, a shell of trillions of frozen comets, wrapping our entire solar system like the skin of a bubble. And drifting into it, right now, is us. Voyager, 2 small spacecraft we launched in 1977. Now billions of miles away, the most distant human-made objects in existence, still whispering data home across the dark. They each carry a golden record, the sounds of Earth, music, a child's laughter, a map back home, in case anyone, someday, ever finds them. And that is the loop we opened at the start. That rock you're standing on, it didn't just build you, it reached out and touched the stars. So the next time you look up and see a single point of light, remember, that could be a world of crushing acid, a hurricane bigger than Earth, an ocean hidden under ice. And remember that you are standing on the rarest thing we have ever found, the one world out of all of them where you get to look up at all. This has been a tour of our solar system, our tiny neighborhood in an unimaginably large universe. If it made the sky feel a little bigger tonight, subscribe, drop a like, and comment which world you'd visit first, because there's a whole universe left to explore, and we are only just getting started.